Well, inflation pressures are cooling off with slight price dips and wage increases reported last month. The hopeful signs could mean the Federal Reserve's efforts to avoid a recession may deem successful. One of their methods is raising the key interest rate. Yesterday, they upped it by another quarter of a percentage point. It's the 11th increase since March of last year. This brings rate to a range between 5.25 and 5.5%, the highest it's been in 22 years. Well, today we've got two experts with us to help you navigate your spending better. Janae Adams with DebtSucks University and Nathan Grant with MoneyTips.com. They're here to answer your financial questions live. Just text them to the number on your screen, 336-379-5775. And thank you both so much for joining today. All right. Well, each one of our experts has specific expertise, but of course there is room for overlap. Nathan, we're going to start with you. Borrowing, loans, credit cards, the interest we pay on them has, of course, a lot to do with credit scores. So just go ahead and tell us the difference between credit scores and then reports.
Yeah, so your credit scores, they're obviously going to gauge your credit worthiness and how likely you are to get more favorable rates with pretty much anything from credit cards to loans and anything that your credit scores are going to matter for. But the information that makes up your credit scores comes from your credit reports. And those come from the three major credit bureaus, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. Although if you're checking your credit score on things like your credit cards app on your phone or something, it might use a credit scoring company like VantageScore or FICO as well. But they all pretty much do the same thing, where they look at things like your payment history, if you've had any late payments, if you had anything that's gone into collections, or anything that might be in public records related to your finances. Those will all go into what make up your credit scores.
Got it. And Janae, debt is your specialty. And let's talk about credit best practices. What's a good threshold to stay within, and how should we approach paying it down if it gets too high?
So if you have a credit card, definitely think about paying it off each and every month. That is the best practice, to be able to only spend what you need to spend during the month and then paying it off at full each and every month. Now, if things get out of control for you and you're thinking like, how can I get out of this credit card debt? Just take it one step at a time. First and foremost, find out what your spending plan looks like each month and see what you can cut out or cut back. And any kind of money that you come up with after cutting out or cut back, put all that extra money towards your credit card bill each month onto the principal so you can pay it down quickly.
Got it. And Nathan, let's switch over to dive deeper into credit. A lot of people fall victim to higher bills due to interest. What happens with compound interest?
Yeah, so using your credit card as an example, and actually what Janae just said, if you carry a balance month to month, that's when the interest is going to be charged on that balance. Now, if you pay off your bills in full every month, then that interest isn't going to be charged. And what makes it so hard to get out of credit card debt is that it's compound interest. And what that means is that if you don't pay off everything from the month prior when your next bill comes in, you're getting charged interest on that total amount, not just the principal remaining, but the principal plus last month's interest that might have carried over. So it's one of those things you really want to prioritize in your financial planning, because how are you going to get money to put towards some of the other important things if it's getting eaten away by compound interest? Now, the good news is compound interest can work positively for you with things like a high yield savings account, because it's compounding the interest for you, though, for the money that you're putting into savings. So it's not totally hopeless, but you want to make sure when it comes to credit cards and things that have compound interest like that, really focus on paying down that debt right away.
Got it. And Janae, the Feds raised the interest rate. How long will it stay at this level?
So what they're planning on is to keep it at this level throughout 2024, and then maybe start cutting in 2025. They don't feel they're nowhere near their goal. Even though we're at 3%, they want to get it 2%, and they don't see it coming anytime soon. So they will keep it elevated, which means anything that has to do with debt, loans, and so forth is going to cost you more money. That's car loans, credit card debt, and definitely mortgages.
Got it. And also, to keep you right here, since recession is looking less likely, is it time to maybe splurge a little?
I wouldn't say that.
Okay.
A lot of people, a lot of economists are saying that, they see the soft landing or maybe a recession won't come. But I have been seeing just, warning signs where 70% of Americans feel that they are financially stressed. and companies are starting to reduce hours for workers. So although the stock market looks really well and these numbers look really well, you don't want to get caught off guard. So still increase your savings. Make sure you have at least $1,500 saved in a savings account just in case something happens. We don't want to get too cheery about something and then have 2008 happen to us again.
And what do you say to folks who might find it hard to even save that $1,500? Can you talk about that and tips for saving?
Yeah, so that is my number, but I would love for people just to save anything. If it's $10 here, $20 there. If you can only save $50, then guess what? That's $50 more than you had before. But if you can at least work up to $500, maybe sell some things, take on a few extra hours at work, or get a part-time job to get that $500 and eventually the $1,500, then do that. But just take it one step at a time.
Yeah, always good to come up with your own personal plan as well too. And Nathan, we know the housing market is not the easiest to navigate right now, but tell us about mortgage lending and some things to watch out for.
Yeah, so with all these outside stresses that have been happening, especially this past year, where people are asking, is now a good time to buy a home? Sometimes you don't know when is the perfect time to buy a house. So the best thing to focus on right now are the things that are within your control. So not only the stuff like saving and getting more money into savings by cutting out unnecessary expenses, but improving those credit scores. Because if you can get your debt to income ratio in a better spot, your overall debt that you have lower, that's going to help you when you go into the home buying process, because everybody's starting off from a different point. There's not one blanket solution for everybody when it comes to buying a home. So if you can focus on those things that are in your control, even if it's going to take a while to really get to your end game, really start taking those steps right now, because any day can be day one in a payment process or a debt repayment thing. You just got to start by putting that first foot forward.
Got it. Can one of you talk about the updates to federally backed home loans and credit scores? And if both of you want to tackle this, okay, but if one of you could tackle it?
You can go ahead, Nathan.
I honestly can't speak to the specifics numbers wise of the most recent updates, so I'd hate to say something out of turn or that wasn't 100% correct. I just know that, like I just said, with all these changes that are happening, you have to, for one, do the research, and you know what? Don't do it alone. There are so many mortgage professionals out there, or even people like your personal banker or a local credit union that you might have a relationship with. Talk to a professional to be able to answer those questions correctly, because if you just jump into the first thing you see, it might not be the best thing for your situation.
All right, well, we're going to take a quick pause, and if you're listening in, make sure you continue to send in those questions so our professionals can get them answered right here live for you. We'll be right back.